This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, all you crypto boomers. It is Paul and Bud and George back this week. Going to chat a little crypto, chat a little life, just talk a little bit, try to make sure nobody's going to jump out the window or anything like that. Just kind of calm down and just have some conversation about what the heck's going on. And before we do, go ahead and click all the buttons that we tell you about, the subscribe and the bell and I don't know all the buttons. I don't even know this thing. You can tell I don't do this for a living or do it for anything other than getting to talk to these two guys. But man, what a week, guys! Today's date is Wednesday, September 8th, 2021, as our marker. And yesterday was a pretty big sized dump in the market. So I'm sure that'll come up. But hey, George and Bud, how's everything going?
Going
I'm
good.
I'm doing yeah, I'm doing pretty well. It's funny. While the market was dumping, I was on the phone with someone and Jay just chimed in. He's like, it's down 3,000, then it's down 7,000, then it's down 10,000. So it was kind of an interesting day, kind of watching it and getting on TradingView and seeing what Bitcoin can do.
Yeah, Paul. When it was actually in free fall, I remember we've got this little private group, haven't we, between us, the three of us.
Yeah.
And I'm like straight away, what are you guys buying?
Exactly.
My instant reaction, from all the training we've had over the years is when there's blood on the streets, you just go out and buy. And I'd be happy to talk through my experience with what I found yesterday, but like it is tough on those days to actually transact. So
Yeah, it is. I mean, once again, Coinbase pulled their little deal and stopped trading for a while. I tell you what, it's you can almost guarantee it. Whenever the volatility goes up like that, there's a big dump or a big pump, good luck. Good luck. That's and you know what? Whenever it happens like that, it's really difficult, especially for us who are swing traders. We're not looking at this market, every hour of the day. Truthfully, I got out of that habit because it was freaking depressing at times, or euphoric at times, and it wasn't healthy for me to check the market every 15 or 30 minutes or an hour. So I really don't look at it that often, maybe once or twice a day. So those crashes come, or those pumps come, and heck, they may be over and pulled back 50% before I even see it. So I know I've missed out on some pumps on PPT where I guess if you were, a day trader, you could have made some money, but you can also lose a whole bunch of money that way too. So, but I did get Bud messaged us yesterday and he's like, what are you buying? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I quickly looked and I'm like, holy crap. All right. What are you buying, Bud?
Well, this is the thing that all of us, we've been on this journey with our coach Jay, and I seriously had FOMO yesterday of trying to get in when Bitcoin was about 42,000, trying to get into XLM because I've been watching that for a while. I wanted to build my position up. One of the things I've learned is to have money on the sidelines. It's always very helpful in these situations. And so I was fortunate enough to get out of quite a bit of Cardano, $3, just taking a little bit of profit before our targets and that felt good. But I tell you what, though, the gas fees were incredible. I think I had $100 failed transaction on Ethereum. I had to do it again because I think you have to do. It's very complicated, and also, like some of the Caleb and Brown. Like I'm in the across the pond here, so it's an awkward time for Caleb and Brown because they're in Australia, and Kraken like kind of froze up a few times. I had to keep refreshing. Coinbase went down, as you say. So these crashes are like the sad part of crypto, which is obviously is like to some extent a bit manipulated this and maybe some kind of coordinated planned event.
Well,
Yeah,
it seemed like a lot of the coins bounced off the 50 day, and it was like, I guess everybody had their buy points at the 50-day? I mean, it seems like it was a little coordinated.
Well, it's interesting that yesterday was when El Salvador decided to turn on Bitcoin as a currency in their country. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, if that pissed off the bankers and they were going to show them. I think El Salvador lost $3 million in a not, and they say lost, they didn't lose it. I mean, they've still got the Bitcoin. So as soon as Bitcoin goes back to 52 or 3, they've got their same investment they had. But if you freaked out and sold because you were freaking out about the market, then yeah, you did lose it. So it does.
Actually, guys, have you ever sold on a crash?
No way.
No.
No way. But so many people do. The weak hands are shaken out so often. And I'm very proud of, and I'm just going to throw his name out there. His name's Dale. I'm not going to throw his last name out, but he's new in this space, in the crypto space, as of probably January, February, somewhere in there, maybe a little earlier than that, but really getting into it and being a student of Jay and George's. And he messaged me yesterday and said that I think he said he was buying. I'm pretty sure that's Dale. I hope I gave the right person credit for that, but he said, it's a buying opportunity. So he asked what I was buying. I said, I missed it, man. So good for you. But if you freak out with those, we were talking just before we got on air that the way that you create wealth in this market is because of the volatility. I mean, go back and look at the chart. If you think this is Armageddon and this is it, and Bitcoin's going to zero, which I heard somebody say today on YouTube.
Of course.
Absolutely. If you think that this is a marker for Bitcoin going to zero and the crypto's going away, and I'm not saying that it can't happen someday. We're in a space that it is very speculative, but go back and look at the chart, for crap's sake. These people, how quickly they forget history. And you can see a lot of these pullbacks like this, and then all of a sudden we take another leg up. So, Jay was talking about 55. We made it to, I think, close to 53. And now, like you just said, George, it pulls back to the 50 and kind of gets hung up there. And now we've created a big old wick down there at the bottom. So let's just see what happens over the next week or two. We could hang out here for, I don't know, a week, 10 days, and then go in a direction. So anyway, don't freak out. Don't give the big boys your coins, because that's what they're banking on.
Yeah. Does anyone remember the Bart Simpson candlesticks? Where basically it looks like the reverse head of Bart Simpson. That's what it looks like today.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I do remember seeing that.
Yeah. Did any of you manage to get out of Ethereum? I know I sold a good chunk of my Ethereum, and that felt good. That's kind of going towards my retirement.
Yeah, I had put sell orders in for 3 coins on Monday, and they had not reached that point. So you know what? I'm gonna look at them again and see what I need to what do I need to adjust.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I had some sells ready for Sunday, and I was going to go ahead and put in some market orders instead of limit orders, because I felt pretty good about it, and got sidetracked with something else on the personal front, and I missed my opportunity and thought, well, I can go do this and I'll take care of it tomorrow. And tomorrow was, or I guess that was Monday, because Monday was a holiday, and then tomorrow was yesterday, and well, you see what happens. So I'm still in those. I am going to pivot several of those into some more coins that I like better. These are positions that I've had for a long time that are way up anyway. So, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes the timing is just barely off, and you miss it. But man, if I would have done it Monday, I would have felt like a freaking genius.
Well, I remember on this particular show, all those months and months ago, back in March, April, when I was saying, "Oh, wish I'd have sold here, wish I'd have sold there," on the when we were looking at the Bitcoin dominance, and like I've learned from that mistake. I mean, I'm in it with you guys. I wanted to hold some Ethereum to the end of the year or November timeframe. Like that has always been my plan, and it's hard getting rid of all of it, but it certainly it feels good to get kind of lucky like this. I guess there's nothing more to say than, well, luck and following our coach and his guidance. So
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And then this is the 50 you were talking about, George, how it came down there and just pierced it and then went right back above it. So, it's
Yeah, and
amazing.
it's amazing. I guess it depends on which coins, but I think Litecoin did it. I think there were so many coins that it was like just touched that, bounced right off the 50, and it just shows. Well, we all know where this is headed, and
Right.
it's a good thing to take a little break because look from what was that? I can't see the date, but from July something. Like how many weeks has it just been up, 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 up? And
Yeah.
so, building, a little base maybe going
Well,
sideways.
if we do a weekly, and change that to a weekly, I mean, my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had a little down week there, 6, 7, and now we're in the 8th week. We pull back and
Yeah, look how many weeks, like, wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we were, I guess we were due.
absolutely.
Paul, when did you put those lines on? Have they been on for some time?
Yeah, they have. Yep.
My goodness, look at the way it's gone into the little corner there of your lines.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's amazing, and talking about the 50, look how we came back and up through the 50 and never came back and tested it until yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've tested the 50. So, I absolutely believe Jay's targets are in play. I don't know, who knows if this will go sideways for a little bit, but if you go by this trend line here, I don't think it can go sideways for too long, but Bitcoin can do whatever it does. But, if it is going to, and who knows, it could fall down here, pierce this trend line and then go up. But I mean, this is really nothing concerning to us who have been taught by Jay. It's really not. So, and the market, a healthy market we've talked about this till we're blue in the face. A healthy market does not go straight up.
Because it'll become a blow off top and then,
Right.
okay, we're done. And I
Exactly.
don't want that yet.
No,
We're not.
That's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head there, George.
Actually, Paul, just looking at it as well is one of the other charts I tend to look at is the total market cap. And it's, a little bit interesting to me that some of this volatility is always around the numbers of the market cap. So at the moment, we're kind of finding support around the $2 trillion market cap, which is enormous.
You want to share your screen, bud?
Yeah, sure. I'll show you what I'm looking at.
Let me make you presenter. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure we
don't want to dox yourself.
Yeah. Making sure you didn't have that video on your face or something,
Oh,
or your bank accounts open.
Bank accounts? Oh no, never. So what I'm looking at here, and these lines have been on for forever, I'm trying to, but this is the total market cap on TradingView, and what clearly has happened is that look how we tried to make a little bit of a new high, and it's got people nervous as we're approaching that total market cap, and so that's where we had the drop. And so it is tempting to kind of go back and think, well, maybe that was a sign, to just be off on the sidelines or in a stable coin for a little bit and see what happens. But equally, it could have gone the other way as well and just broke through. So the volatility is enormous, and and we just have to, do the best we can. I feel like it's hard to say, isn't it? Because if we are constantly getting in and out, like Jay teaches us not to do, can you
Right.
imagine what the emotions you would feel like? So.
Well, Jay and I talked the other day, and he also did a video yesterday or the day before, a warning video, basically of that very thing. Is, you can have plans to sell here, go into USDC, and wait for a pullback in hopes that you can buy back in at a cheaper price. But the problem with that is if you're not careful, you get pinched out of the market, it goes on up, and you're out of the market. So USDC doesn't make any money. So, it's a dance. It's a little bit of a dance too. And that's why one of the reasons why I like to pivot so much. With the pivot, you can take one potentially, like you talked about, ADA that you sold at $3. Let's just assume that. And if that's reaching target, let's say the target's 350, you want to sell at 80% of your target, and you can still pivot into something that hasn't moved a whole lot towards the ultimate target, such as XLM or T Fuel or something like that. I think if you aren't careful, you can get a little too tricky, sell your ADA at 3 to USDC, thinking that maybe XLM is going to do a pullback, and it doesn't, and you've chased dimes and tripping over dollars, I think is what you guys talk about. So, you really have to be careful with that. And for me, I'm a little more conservative. I just like to make sure that I'm in the market. I think it is smart, like you said earlier, Bud, to keep a little bit of money, a little bit of USDC on the sidelines in case we do get a big crash. But I think in the long run, for the most part, we're better off in the bull market to be in something, don't you guys?
Yeah.
I mean, George, I know you may have to dash soon. I don't know whether you've got anything to say about Cardano, but do you remember buying it down here? I know that we often refer back to that post, the famous post of, "Hey guys, I'm buying Cardano," and I remember everything about this. I remember like drawing a support line, and it seemed to be 3 cents.
Yeah.
I remember just trying to find any cash back then, because we'd been beaten up and beaten up and beaten up. But the Cardano that I sold recently was from that 3 cents. So that is 100x move, 3 cents to $3. It can happen. It's happened to me, and I am thrilled.
Well, and one thing I'm going to throw out there is that I did not originally believe in hex, and I was like, I'm just going to stay away. Richard Hart is, he likes to talk. Oh boy, does he like to talk.
Yeah.
And I spoke to someone yesterday, and this person had an investment. I think this person said $300. And it was truly an Italian dinner, and they got out and they turned $300 into 400,000. And when you look at those numbers, and people say, your neighbors and your friends, when you told them what you were in, like, they use that for drug money, and it's, Silk Road, and it's, they have missed out on an opportunity that I don't think we'll ever see again in my life. And I'm saddened by that. And I am so happy for the people that have taken, hex from 3 cents or $300 to 400,000, and the ADA from 3 cents to where it is, and beyond, and T Fuel and Theta, and a bunch of coins that we're all in, where we learned along the way with Jay how to spot the good coins, spot the trends, and we're harvesting, because that is one thing that I walked over to see my neighbor the other day, and he said, "Why are you so happy?" I said, "Well, number one, because I'm so happy." He's like, "Well, what are you doing?" And I said, "Harvesting." So you know what? We're all harvesting now that it's the fall.
Love that.
You,
Hey,
you
bud, go
know,
back,
yeah,
or if
go
you
on.
got a
Sorry.
minute, go
Yeah.
back on that chart to the end. I want to show especially the people that reached out to me that were freaking out about this market going away or crashing. If you go right there, you can see several, I can count, I don't know, 3 or 4 different times when ADA did the exact same thing that it did yesterday, and then look what it did. You know, you can go back and see at least 2 where we had a big dump and then followed in a few days by, you know, a nice run up that first time. And then, I mean, don't think that just because it dumped like it did yesterday that it can't, you know, make a big climb just like you see on the screen. That's why I say go back and look at these charts, look at the history, and just calm down.
You know, Paul, one of the things I used to enjoy is going through my photo album and just kind of recalling, you know, times 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and just looking at past photos. I actually really enjoy looking at past charts now. It's like a photograph because I
Yeah.
remember all my emotions. And, you know, let's go back here. And this is for the crypto boomers, because you look at this with zero emotion and think, oh, I could have easily done that. But you don't know how this felt. This felt holding Cardano like we deserve. I honestly believe we deserve our profit because this has been a tough, tough hold. Look at this.
Mhm.
All the hope of here, it's going to $3, it's going to $6, you know, all around here. And then that year of it just got crushed. And then the COVID crash. And then, you know, we were buying down here. And I remember at the time thinking, oh, I might sell. You see, remember this pump here?
Yep.
And it made it to what was it? I seem to remember like it getting to about like I remember this feeling really good, and it got to about 13 cents, and I had like this idea of maybe I'll just sell 100,000 of them, because back then, like it didn't feel that much money. It was um, you know, it was kind of like playing with monopoly money at the time, because you know, it had been so low for so long. But look, thank goodness we held on. And I
Mhm.
do remember I did actually sell some as we went on this massive tear all the way up to, and I remember like looking at this chart pattern here that our coach teaches us, and getting out at 140 with a bit, like 25% of my
Mhm.
portfolio. And then I got back in soon afterwards, but then I had to ride this up and down. I didn't do anything here. And I just thought, you know what, this has been so good. Like what we're taught, to be grateful. I'm going to be grateful for 100x, and I'm going to take some profit. And thank you, market, and thank you, Bitcoin Academy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's well said. I mean, that
Uh,
you can look at that chart right there, and even if you weren't in the market back then, just equate that, all those ups and downs and the emotions you feel yesterday, today, over the past week, with how many times that happened back there.
yeah, well, the slightly disappointing thing is I didn't feel too much selling it. Like there wasn't like I thought I would feel euphoria about taking 100x. 100x your money over like a really, really long time. You're not getting the same sort of euphoria as like in 2017, where you would get a 10x or 15x over a weekend. And so, yeah, my emotions on, you know, the day of taking profit, I kind of sold a bit like all around here, and just didn't feel anything on any of those sales. So clearly, Paul, we've come a long way in terms of
Yes.
our training.
Yeah,
Are there any other coins? Sorry.
no, that's a good point, because one of the things that Jay teaches us to keep our emotions in check. Not that we don't have them, but we don't allow our emotions to overwhelm us. And so that's a great reminder there too. Both ways, not just the the freak out mode, but also the euphoria mode. So that's excellent.
Yeah, and talking about emotions, I mean, also what we're taught is not to have cognitive dissonance. And,
Yeah.
we clearly are in asset protection mode to some extent, like our coach. And so for all the crypto boomers that are, looking at this and feeling that, similar emotions that we're feeling, just be very, very cautious, because in asset protection mode, you want to at least get out and be happy with what your returns are, and then see what the market gives us.
Yeah, we talked last time a little bit about the trap that it is to listen to other people and try to compare yourself to other people and their portfolio. When you're, Jay's portfolio might be X and ours is, much, much less, but you start to compare, you start to compare yourself to that, and then your hopes. I guess what I'm trying to say is you create unrealistic goals that will affect your trading, affect your mindset, to where you will miss out on the correct timing for you to buy and sell. And so again, that goes back to one of Jay's very first videos on, the psychology of trading. So don't ever compare yourself. Somebody that has $100,000 that they're turning into $1 million, and you have $20,000 that you're turning into $200,000. Don't change the way you're trading. Don't forget the training that Jay gives you, just so that you can hopefully hit the mother load. And the reason I say that is we've had a few times where somebody has either told Jay or myself, or probably you and Bud and George, that they heard that PPT was getting ready to run up to $80, so I sold everything and put it over in PPT, because that's going to turn my potential of $200,000 into $20 million. And Jay is very strong in his teaching that you may win this time. You may make that happen this time, but the next time you take that 20 million, and the next time you do that, you'll lose it all. So, develop a plan, be happy with what you have in the market, and then, stick with that plan based on the teaching that Jay does as far as how to manage your money. He never tells you what to trade or anything like that. He's only telling us what he's doing. We have to figure that out. I don't follow Jay on every trade he makes. You guys have coins that I decided not to get into. I make my own decisions, and I've done very well at times, and I've not done as well as you guys at other times, and I'm fine with that, because I have a specific plan laid out for all of my trades, and it does change based on the chart, based on other factors, but the goals, the ultimate goals don't change for me. We all trade our own portfolios, based on Jay's teaching, not based on Jay's trading. Does that make sense?
That makes absolute. You raise a wonderful point. You're triggering now like a terrific point that I want to make, which is one of my big concerns about this channel and the boomers. I mean, the baby boomers, for instance. The baby boomers have spent, if we try and categorize that group of the best, the generation that has created the most wealth like ever, the way they've done it is like a school of fish, where everyone flocks into the same kind of thing. So if you think after basically the generation came after the war, they had to rebuild, and there was like this flock herd mentality of everyone buying their first house, everyone getting a car, and just having and everyone going into the same assets, going into bonds, going into equities. And I know this because I worked in the pension industry. Everyone pretty much all the big players, all the baby boomers had 70% equity, 30% bonds, or like that kind of split. You know, so the point I'm trying to make is like there's for the baby boomers, the baby boomers, they've spent like their generation following the masses. And what worries me is that we all kind of have this feeling that there may be some stuff happening towards the end of the year with crypto, maybe next year, maybe we go to a bear market, maybe there's regulation, and they're going to be getting in at the wrong time because the masses will be flocking into this.
Yeah.
And it's hard to kind of, it's hard to put the dam up to say, you know, to everyone, hold on and think about what we're doing here, you know. But that's what worries me, that I certainly wouldn't want to be encouraging this.
No, absolutely. And again, you know, I know someone else that just got in the market this past couple of weeks. You know, honestly, it wasn't a lot of money compared to, it was a lot of money, but it wasn't a lot of money compared to a lot of people I know in the market. But that said, you know, they were told, and I didn't help them, someone else did, but they were told that, you know, this isn't exactly the perfect timing to get into the market, but if you want to put some money in the market, these are what we're in. You go look at them and see what you think. Well, you know, hopefully, and I don't know, but hopefully after yesterday, I hope they didn't just freak out and say, no, I should have never gotten this market and sold. I hope that didn't happen. But you make a good point, Bud, that we should only invest what we can afford to lose, because you do not, and that's with anything, because you do not know where anything's going. This is a speculative market. The volatility is great, but if you don't have a specific plan laid out, you're going to get wrecked because the emotions will take over. And like you say, you're going to be getting into a market when it's you know, later this year, potentially, as far as it looks like timing with this market and the way that the time analysis that Jay does, it looks like later this year will be the run up on this bull, and then there's going to be a big pullback. So at least at this point, that's the kind of things we're anticipating. That could change. And you know, it could run up and have a blow off top next month, and then it'd be over. So anyway, I think it is wise to just remind everybody, develop your plan, trade your plan based on Jay's teaching, not Jay's trading. Okay. And any little bit of teaching that we've done on this channel is, you know, certainly not the perfect reflection of what Jay teaches. I'm sure we've made mistakes in conveying, you know, some of that, but we have been trained by Jay, and thankfully, and we're trading our own portfolios. Jay doesn't tell us how to trade. He would never tell us how to trade. So, and we're not telling you how to trade. So anyway, what do you think, Bud?
Yeah, well said. Well said. I just wanted to put it out there that like I remember how I felt getting into the market in a euphoric way in 2017. I mean, it's the why I'm here still, but I was in 2015 and couldn't care less about Bitcoin, didn't know what it was, used it for pizza money. In some of my past videos, I've mentioned that. But I was very rare do we feel that euphoria. And I remember feeling that. I just couldn't tell enough people about it. I thought it was amazing. And here we are, battled, bruised, you know, ran out a bear market. We've done a bull market that, to be frank, I've not felt much euphoria or any euphoria. I don't know about you, Paul. A little bit of hope now and again, but certainly not thrill or excitement, like, you know, to the levels of 2017.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And I know that I know that's difficult for those that have not been through a bear market yet, those that started in January or later. You know, you've really not really seen anything but euphoria or excitement, except for the pullback this summer. So that was a good lesson. I'm glad that happened before it was too late, and people made too many other mistakes because all they felt was the euphoria. So anyway, I'm excited about this fall and early winter. We've got our eyes on the market, and I've got some of my own trades that I'm going to be making, pivots and things like that I'm going to be making, and in hopes that it's the right decision. But I'm going to keep plugging away with the anticipation of reaching my goals, and hopefully everybody else has those too. And other than that, I don't really have anything else other than we always talk about it, and it is kind of our tagline that it's not about investing, it's about creating wealth. And however you take that, that is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to help everybody that listens to understand that this market can help you create wealth, whether it's turning 10,000 into 100,000, or 100,000 into 1,000,000, or 1,000 into 10,000, whatever. There's not too many places, not too many markets that are volatile enough to allow you to do that. So you got any final words for us, Bud? Words of wisdom from across the pond there?
Yeah, I love that tagline. It's about creating wealth. And of course, maybe we add to that soon. It's about keeping that wealth as well, because I do feel like a lot of our audience are going to come into great wealth over the the next few months. But again, it's the psychology of trying to keep that and protect it. And I tell you, from my past self, I know that is very hard to do. So get working on it. And if it doesn't work out for you this time around, like what I love about the baby boomer generation is frankly, they are not a generation to blame. They've created the biggest wealth on the planet from a generation, and it's a terrific generation, and they're hard workers. And so thank you to everyone that is a crypto boomer, baby boomer, and good luck to you.
Hey, well said, Bud. Well said. All right, with that, everybody, just remember, it's not about investing, it's about creating wealth. And until next time, George had to pop off early. He had a meeting we knew about, but he said to make sure everybody knows. Thanks for listening. And until next time, we will see you soon.